I'm recording and you're recording. Hi, Kate.
Hey, Marty.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, it's good. Just have like a day where like it's not busy, but all of the things I have to do are spread out. And
Mm.
so it feels like the thing, like I want to get writing done, but there's just these gaps between like my schedule that make it hard to like do the writing in this time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But someone like my friend is picking up my kids from school, so that totally changes my entire schedule for the day.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Well, because you were also telling me that you're working your current project, Chicago architect guy. You're doing it fully
Mm-hmm.
handwritten, and that I imagine is like makes it a lot harder to write just about anywhere.
Well, I'm not handwriting it
Oh
anymore.
no,
That
that's
was
been
like,
changed.
so, yes, now that Remy and Alicia are all grown up, I get to start like using my computer for Sadie and
Oh,
Jameson.
nice. Okay. What was the thinking
And
behind not like the split between projects, like computer, just this one thing?
the thinking was like, if I am at my computer, then my intention is to write on Remy and Alicia, right?
Yeah.
But I can't work on their book if I'm not at my computer. And so I had a notebook that I just carried around with me all over the place to write by hand. The next book, just to get like a little bit of head start on them. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So now that I get to do this rotation where Sadie and Jameson are now like the intended couple, I get to think about like, okay, who's my notebook story now, right?
Hmm. Okay. Interesting way to
And I've been wondering, like,
compartmentalize.
is it the romantasy?
I feel like it's been so long and I've heard so little about your romantasy project.
It's been so long since I've worked on it, like a very long time. So it really hasn't like gone anywhere. And I think writing it by hand might help me kind of like break up some of the world building stuff that kind of messes with me when I go to type it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't know. It's it's really weird. My brain has a hard time putting like magic worlds into the computer,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
But like when you and I talk about your world or like rift on like a story or this or that, there's no hesitation on my part. Like I feel like I can totally talk about it for forever. But to actually write it down, I'm like, what's the right word? Where's the right word to start? Right? Like I have a hard time actually executing it.
It's so funny because like I remember when I started working on Handle with Claire when I first met you when I was which
Uh-huh.
for the most part up till that point I had really only written like high fantasy type stories. You know, nothing that ever got
Mhm.
finished and nothing that ever like made it anywhere. But like that was very much like my whole thing. Romance was still very new to
Mhm.
me at that point. And when I switched to like this contemporary setting, I remember having such a hard time being like, I can't just say whatever I want to fill this gap. I have to go find the actual answer for how the real world works.
Isn't that
And it was
wild?
such a, weird way to like how it had to change my thinking about it.
Well, and it's really interesting to me because, like, the fact that there's an actual answer really helps me. Like, being able to Google this problem or, do a internet search of this problem really helps me to, like, get the story done,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Where being able to just make up literally everything and having to make up literally everything makes it really hard for me to, I don't know, actually write it down. I'm wondering if writing it by hand might make it better.
Maybe. I think
Maybe.
you were talking a bit about how writing by hand, you felt more liberated to write the thing that you were currently thinking about and put in
Yeah.
more like little
Yeah.
asterisks, come back to this later, or just describe this thing,
Yeah, exactly.
you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's like writing by hand is like, I mean, you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Right?
And like you have to commit to every thought that you have and use it or lose it. Like there's no space to just
Yeah.
rearrange things. And so,
Yes. No space to rearrange things is huge. I can like draw arrows. I do the thing where you like write, number one, and then you flip the page over and you can like insert words or sentences there, right?
Yeah.
But it's not as mobile.
Different ways you think about different ways you solve problems when you're kind of working on the fly, I guess. With that different, I can just slap whatever I want here versus I have to find the real answer.
It was really interesting. I was having a conversation with one of my friends last night because he's thinking about a story. He doesn't know like what form or medium it would take, sort of thing. I don't know. And I was talking to him, I was like, I don't know if this is like from the small town that we grew up in, or if it's just like a millennial like problem we all carry. But like there's like the perfectionist and imposter syndrome and like the pressure to do everything perfectly. And it's like such a hindrance to actually creating anything. Yes. And like our town was small enough that like the whole town would have like favorite families and favorite kids, and everyone would know like, oh, so and so is the best at this thing, or oh my goodness, did you hear their kids sing that song? It was known when someone had talent. Right? Or was super smart, or, you know, all that stuff. And I think that it really created like this microscope that makes it really hard to just create something.
Yes, because you're constantly being
like having a lot of nagging in your brain.
Yeah, and like immediately being like compared to everyone else.
Yes, and if you are not, I mean, I had a friend once tell me that I was, and she meant it with like the kindest of hearts, right? But she was like, "Oh yeah, you're the second best singer in our class." Right?
You're like, second? Excuse me?
Well, and like the thing is, when she said it, like I knew exactly who she considered the first, right? Like, but like the fact that like we were ranked, you know what I mean? Like to like perceive any of us having talent was then rack 'em, stack 'em. You can't just be good at something. Like, oh, she's so good, but so-and-so's better. Yeah. Have you know what I mean? Like,
you're just immediately in competition for first. And it's like, well, maybe you're not doing the same things, or you're not trying for like to express yourself in like according to certain standards.
Yeah, like immediately in competition for first. But like, can't this just be something I enjoy?
Yeah. No, that really makes me think of that thing about how like everything, like singing, dancing, any mode of expression or creativity does it like immediately it has to be something you're working on and like trying to be the best at. And it's like, God, if I want to sing in my car, I don't want to like be thinking about how good I'm doing, you know, if I'm.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And like, I love singing. I have a lot of fun doing it. I love dancing. I have a lot of fun doing it. For one thing, I'm not a great dancer. I have a lot of fun doing it, right? But like, I don't want to be sitting in the car singing and my friend won't sing with me because they're like, ooh, nope, can't. Like, you sound good. So it makes me sad that like we can't just have this human experience of like just having fun, because we just do this, right? Across every like corner of the world, people just open their mouths and make songs, right?
Yeah.
And instead of it being something that we can just enjoy, it has to then be something that we are also good at.
Yeah. Ugh. Makes my brain go back to like the never ending like the way that books are ranked in like the Amazon store or Kindle.
Yes. And that we have to give them like like 5-star ratings, or you know, like the star rating is like,
and it's such a sliding scale thing. It's like there are books that are like,
no one knows what it means.
Fun experience, and I really enjoyed every minute of it, but like, you know, I don't like
3 stars.
Yeah. Like, there's so many books that it's like, this is the book that made me the happiest this year, but, like, maybe it's not good literature, quote-unquote, or whatever. Or maybe it didn't teach me anything. Like, there's so many different metrics for, like, what makes a book good, and so many different ways for a book to be good that aren't expressed in 5 stars, you know?
Well, and, like, because I was talking to my friend, and I was like, hey, like, you thinking about what this will be in the future is keeping you from doing, like, what it is now.
Yes.
Which is nothing,
exactly.
Right? Like, and the future doesn't exist, right? Like, all there is now. So just, like, literally have fun.
Haunted by the
like,
specter
just write
of...
one. Yeah, exactly. Like, and so I was like, just write this, like, small thing about it and see if you want to write more, or if that's all you want to do. Like, it doesn't have to be anything. It can just be something that you did because it's, like, gnawing at the back of your brain.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway. That's a part of my existential crisis. And but Remy and Alicia come out on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Super excited about that.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
Hell yeah.
Girl, I gotta get you the full spread then.
Yeah. Kate, look.
God, I know that,
if we're gonna go ahead and say anyone's behind schedule, it's not you, it's me.
I wasn't gonna say you're behind schedule. No.
You know, I think I was telling you this before we started recording, but time is weird, so I don't know. Something I really appreciate about how this release is going and being, like I said, so far behind schedule is I don't feel absolutely effing like wrung out with promotion that I could not possibly continue doing this after the release. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Typically by this point, I am like, release had better get here because I don't have another post in me. But like right now, I'm like, oh yeah, I can do this for weeks.
Nice.
I can keep talking about this book.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm good. So that's a great thing. And it's definitely something I'm taking away for future future releases. Like maybe it is like I start more like 3 weeks before and ARC readers are posting reviews around the same time I start. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I will say that's part of like what I'm missing is ARC readers saying what they think of it. But ARCs are out. I just like was also like, hey, I know times are like busy right now. So like I don't have expectations of this happening in the next couple weeks here.
And like I don't really know how to like tackle this thought. Because like I do rise and prioritize your happiness with your process. I think like that's the most important thing to making it work, you know. But I'm also like, you know, because like it comes out Friday and we put the cover reveal literally like a week ago. So that's like 2 weeks between it cover reveal and the book coming out. And because the order of things is so different from the formula I kind of lay out for mine, like it is giving me a little anxiety. And I'm like, but you sure you like I'm withholding myself from like a lot of, but are you sure you don't want to be doing this or you don't want to like set up this? The urge to
like,
backseat drive.
What things would you have me do?
Oh, because like I think about doing the cover reveal a month before the book comes out, things like that. I know you couldn't move the pre-order.
For one thing, right now
like,
I'm in Instagram jail.
Are you?
Oh yeah, for sure. The algorithm's like, you haven't seen me in weeks.
Yeah.
And so she's just not showing my face to anyone. Like for sure I'm in Instagram jail. Like without question. So for one thing, I don't know how much, like I have to build back like notoriety on the algorithm. And so I think that it would honestly benefit me to find a way to be more consistent if I'm going to use social media as a release tactic. Like I have to find a way to be more consistent throughout the year.
I mean, I'm still a big fan of like just posting really around releases and not feeling like I have to struggle to come up with things to post when I'm not releasing. Like part of when the book is finished being written, what I'm putting my energy towards is making the posts and making the email blasts and getting all the things set up.
Well, normally I do more with like my newsletter, and normally I do more with like setting up swaps and stuff like that, which is all stuff I still have to do. But I have to say, like the idea of pushing this post-release makes more sense to me because people are more likely to go for a book that's out than a book that's pre-order.
Yes.
Right? Especially if you're an author that like they don't know, right?
I do agree that like I do feel like it's better to have a book that's out that when people see it, they can go, okay, I'll just get it right now and read it right now. Like instant gratification, you know?
I mean, time will tell, but like not putting so much pressure on the release is really helping my brain.
Okay. That's like, good. That's what's most important.
Come release day, like I might feel differently, but also I don't think so, right? Like I'll continue pushing it and I'll continue talking about it and I'll like set up swaps and like do all that stuff. But like I'm really feeling a lot less stressed than I normally do. Like normally by this time I am burnt out. Like I am like Friday cannot get here fast enough. And I just don't feel that way right now. And I really like that. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. And I'm just going to keep on going. Doing everything perfectly hasn't worked out great for me anyway. Does that make sense?
No, I do get that.
Like, it'd be one thing if I was like, wow, I'm really seeing such a difference between this release and that release. And obviously doing all that legwork has made such a difference in like where my pre-orders are at. normally, right?
Yeah.
But it's just not. Like, it's just not. And so I don't know. I don't know if like the model has changed.
Yeah, like shifted too.
Yeah, like the algorithm in general, like people using the internet or social media to find their next book, or at least Instagram. Like they might still be using other platforms, but like I'm not seeing a big difference. And I've never seen like social media interaction be a direct correlation to sales.
Yeah, agreed.
So I might as well just not ruin my brain.
No, I get that. Ugh, it's one of those things I keep like gnawing on.
Yeah.
So like here's a little bit of vulnerability.
Okay.
So I looked it up the other day. Like I was curious about it, and then I saw my pre-orders for Be My Bad Guy, and the pre-order has been up for like since end of September, and so that's now 2 months, let's say, and it's only got 14 pre-orders, and that's the lowest amount of pre-orders out of all of my books. If that
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out, like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing differently? And I think a big part of it is that a lot of people are leaving social media or disengaged with social media because...
But no, I don't think that like social media is like a don't do it or like it doesn't work anymore. Nothing silly like that. I'm sure plenty of people are still finding great success with it. I've never been that person. And I don't know what gives me great success at this point, but I'm not going to keep on doing the same thing that's not getting me what I want, right?
Yeah, well, especially if you're not having a good time with it.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Well, and like as far as like the pre-order numbers not being what books have been in the past, I'm also curious about what other authors have to say about their sales and their pre-orders. Like I'm also wondering how many people are like less likely to get a pre-order than they were 3 years ago. Right?
Yeah.
Like we're watching a lot of spending habits change.
You can't ignore the fact that we are constantly talking about inflation and are we in a recession? Are we in a depression? Like all over the news.
Absolutely.
Like I don't doubt that has some impact on it.
Well, but also, Kate, the market is more flooded than it was 3 years ago.
God, yeah.
And the market was already flooded then.
Yeah.
So, like, the reader literally could have been like, oh, I'll get this book. And then realize it was on pre-order. Like, oh, no, I'll get this other book that's already out. And I'll come back to this when it's released. Like, people's perception is changing. And, like, quite frankly, books are really cheap entertainment.
Yeah.
So, like, I've seen other authors talk about a correlation between a recession happening and book sales going up, right?
Okay.
And that it'll have a correlation, the content will have a correlation as well. The fantasy that's being told is meeting a fantasy that's like with the people now.
Yeah.
Right? It might be something that people are like just like literally pinching pennies, but like I doubt that with the price of a book, especially since, oh my gosh, Kate, I just realized like, because I don't buy a lot of ebooks, right? Yeah. And I was talking to a friend and she was like, I am so sick and tired of ebooks being more expensive than the audiobook, being more expensive than the physical book. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And then she showed me, and she like now she'll send me screenshots every time. And she's like, look, it's $18.99 for the ebook and $15.99 for the audiobook. Like, oh that my is an insane freaking God. That's insane.
Also wild.
So, oh, yeah, absolutely. And so like I think we're also like seeing this weird disparity in pricing as well, cuz like I still am like, ooh, do I raise my prices? Clearly Barnes and Noble is like, oh, people will pay extra for the convenience of just having it on their e-reader.
Yeah.
Right? And I say Barnes and Noble, but like all retailers are doing this, right? But then also, I have a hard time being like, should I charge more than $4.99 for this thing? Yeah. And meanwhile, the consumer has distrust of anything that's too cheap.
Yes, that is a big thing. That if you, it's a thing that I saw mostly in freelance spaces, that if you price your rates too low, well, A, you get shitty clients, but like also B, you get people who are like, well, you're not legit because you're not asking, you must be a beginner at this because you're not asking real prices.
Yeah, absolutely wild. But yeah, I don't know. So like, I don't know if any of that ranting helped you at all, but like,
I mean,
I just think that there's a lot of circumstances at play right now.
There are.
We're also seriously overstimulated. And I know a lot of my normally very active reader friends are like, I am so wiped out. I can't open a book, right? Like, I think it's going to shift in a little bit where people are like, I can't engage with this other thing. I'm going to go sit in the quiet and read a book. But right now, that's where a lot of people in my life are at.
I am seeing a lot of people talking about like disconnecting from social media and, you know, their electronics and their phone in general.
But also, I broke my computer.
Oh no! When did that happen?
Not this one. Back in December of last year, I broke my other computer. And I haven't fully switched everything over, so all of my ARC emails, I don't have them all on this computer.
Oh no!
So it's like, oh crap. So I need to, I'm going through and like trying to find some of these people, and I'm definitely doing it the harder way than just, you know, powering up my old computer and transferring everything over. But, you know.
Well, so did you ever use like BookFunnel or NetGalley or whatever to send out the ARCs?
Yes, I used BookFunnel, and so I copied like some of my past emails for that, right?
Okay.
And that's how I've gotten quite a few people currently. But like, I do have a bigger list, and I should just go get it as opposed to like finding people. But, you know, also I'm like doing this while not at home, and so I can't just go and grab my computer. I have to like remember to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, you mean you need both computers to be able to get that done, so.
Yeah. They're not just on the same server or anything. Okay. So Kate, what are you like, what's going on? Like, and tell me like if I'm wrong on this, but I feel like a consistent theme since Orc has been that you feel disappointed about books not meeting your expectations.
Yeah, I think the problem with Orc is that because it got so lucky, it set my expectations for like what I think I should be capable of. Mm-hmm. In kind of an unrealistic way. I think if I'd had more of a
backlist at the time,
a backlist and infrastructure to capture email addresses, you know, return like to hold on to in some manner the audience that I was amassing with that book, I think things would have been different if I'd been more prepared to, you know, I think it did some damage to the way I view how I have to market, what I think are the right steps to take. You know, I keep thinking with this book, like...
What do you mean by that?
Well, because, like, so with Orc, I think I've mentioned this before, but, like, I remember being at my aunt's house, like, either the day of or after my grandma's funeral. And I remember because, like, it had happened and kind of coincided with getting ready for the release of The Orc from the Office. And I had been, before that, I don't want to say courting book influencers or reviewers, but like, you know, messaging people on Instagram, on TikTok, and being like, hey, I've got a book coming out. If you like this kind of book, you might enjoy it. Like, here's the 30-second blurb. Like, And I remember being there in the middle of this kind of like life event and feeling like I had to put out fires in the other place. And I guess like because intersection of like personal and professional life kind of made me remember the moment. And I keep going back and wondering, like, do I need to be putting that kind of effort in? Do I need to be more consumed by this? And but also like just reaching out to more people who, you know, I'm an introvert. I avoid reaching out to people if I can.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't do ARC readers for Tales from the Orcasm, and I feel like that kind of showed me, that little experiment showed me, no, the ARC readers are a very important part of this process. And so I made sure to do that for this book, but I'm also wondering, should I have expanded my reach of ARC readers more somehow? Should I have gone to NetGalley, because I've never done NetGalley stuff before.
I've never done it either. I've always just like talked directly to people on Instagram or TikTok. The book's not out yet.
No, and I think like I think things might change for it.
But my point is like the book's not out yet, so it's not on KU, so you can still give out free copies, right?
Yeah.
So if you're like, you know what, I do want to expand my reach on ARC readers, start reaching out to them, right?
Yeah.
And like it's not something that you, just because you've checked that box doesn't mean you can't come back to that box if you're not happy with like the outcome you're having right now. And then also, again, like people doing really like reviews throughout the year is really helpful.
Oh yeah, of course.
And so even if it's like you're sending out ARCs the day before release with the expectation of like, hey, can you just like put a review up before April 1st? Arcs sometimes come in late, but like that's still like decently like within the time frame of your push, right?
Yeah.
And I think you could do more with the tail than you are doing like with the very beginning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do feel like I put most of my marketing emphasis leading up to release.
Well, and I feel the same way, which is like why I'm really excited to not be absolutely effing burnt out right now and know that I can continue talking about this book with enthusiasm as opposed to like, oh my God, I'm just so done with this. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think we all want there to be something like, oh, this is what you do.
Yeah, I think
and if you just keep on doing this,
if there's like an easy answer.
It would be, yeah. And if you just keep on doing this, you'll have an even trajectory and it'll always climb, right? But like there are so many circumstances and no one knows exactly what's going to make anything happen. Like you caught the eye of Ruby Dixon at like the peak of her interest, right?
Yeah.
Like it was kismet. It was amazing. And like, even if you had all the infrastructure there, we're still seeing, like, I'm still hearing a lot of people talking about their sales just being down this year anyway.
I mean, I am seeing those too. And I think you're right. I just...
Yeah. Shoulda, woulda, coulda sort of thing.
It's... I feel like I don't appreciate how hard it is to get reviews, how hard it is to gather an audience. And like, what I'm seeing is the struggle of learning how, like, I feel like I'm starting at the beginning at one I know I like feel I should be capable of, you know? And
I'm confused by that. What do you mean by that?
I don't know. I feel like when you start, you know, the self, like your typical starting at the self-publishing journey, putting books out there, amassing your audience, getting people to read and like and review your books, you know, that it's an uphill battle for everyone. And
yeah,
you learn so much through trial and error, but you also don't feel like you have anything, like you're not trying to live up to anything and you're not trying to...
Yeah. And I have thought about that in terms of like, it's amazing how everything worked out for Orc from the Office, but also I have thought about the toll it would take on my ego to not see then like a higher step and a higher step.
Yeah.
It's just like a double-edged sword. Like this is such a gift and it did amass you an audience that I think takes a really long time normally to build.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like I don't have the appreciation or the sort of calluses maybe on my ego or whatever. Yeah. You know, that someone who went through the whole process at a normal rate, you know, at your standard, you know. I
agree. I also think that like
also just like the wisdom that comes like with having
experienced. That's exactly my point. Yes, that is exactly my point. Is like
like having like, been through the patterns,
assessing like
being
this
able
trial
to say,
worked, this one didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like I'm looking at like all of my data and I'm trying to like find where the patterns are, but I've got this major outlier that kind of skews everything for me, and
yeah, it's hard.
It is. Yeah, I mean,
and like
champagne problems.
But like true, like in like samesies, but like it is hard though to keep on creating these books and you love them and you want everyone to see them and read them and like, but how do you get it in front of people?
Yeah.
And like everyone just keeps on coming back to like social media. And it's like, well, we're watching that work less and less.
We are.
It's something I've never been exceptionally good at. So it's like, okay, well, what do I do then? I enjoy my newsletter, but I've never found it to be like the end all, like be all either. Right? It's not like, oh, I can just build this one thing really well and this can be a major pillar of my marketing. Like, no, I think this is a pillar, but it's not the pillar. And I don't know exactly what the pillar is. I don't know, man.
No, I think
this shit's hard.
You kind of nailed it.
I personally have been like, well, when do I bring in a coach? Because I keep on listening to everybody's advice on what to do.
Yeah. And it's all things that's like, well, this worked for this person, but it didn't work for someone else.
Exactly. And also then like, okay, but then I have to start something and stick with it long enough to see if it is something that works for me, which is a really hard thing for me to do because it is so easy for me to get distracted and run to something else. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's hard and I don't have an answer.
For the most part, because it's not like I have my day job. My financial security is not tied to my book career, thankfully. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah.
Just, if you can, you're stronger than me. Just by miles. But I don't know, like, so I try not to think about it generally. Like, I hadn't looked at these numbers for, literally the whole leading up, like, for the 2 months. I just didn't glance at it because I didn't want to, because I just generally don't the numbers. But,
Well, and then I think also, like, know thyself is really important because, like, if you're someone who sees the numbers and you're like, oh, they're not where I want them to be, and that gives you an energetic push to, like, get the numbers where you want them to be. Great. Look at the numbers. But if you're someone who looks at the numbers and then feels discouraged and has the energy, like, zapped out of you, then don't, right? Like...
Yeah.
And like you said, also, we're talking from a position of this not being our full-time job.
Yeah. No, that's a big part of it. I have been trying to, like, focus on the stuff that brings me joy, and I am having such an immense amount of fun with the box thing. I think have I talked about the box a lot on the podcast yet? Have I been annoying about it yet?
I don't know if it's been a lot. No, you haven't been annoying about it.
Good. Because
I have been having so much fun watching the, like, Instagram posts that you are doing.
Aww.
Like, I think they are so pretty and have such a distinctive, like, style, and, like, they are so clearly the messaging. Like, I really love them. I think we're maybe just running into, like, the algorithms are changing again, and we're just gonna have to take a different route. Like, I was just listening to, it was a couple weeks ago, Sell More Books show, and they were talking about how Amazon's algorithm is changing, has changed. And it's no longer as much a push about the release, it's a push about sustaining sales, because then that tells the algorithm that this is a solid product that people keep on coming back to, right? Yeah. And so it completely alters everyone's brain chemistry about, like, how their releases look. They were talking on the show as much about, and I'll gather these are, like, 6-figure and up authors.
Yeah.
Right? They were talking on the show about, like, okay, well, maybe you have a pre-release that's, like, you don't advertise that date, but that's where all your pre-orders go out. And then 2 days later is the day that you actually advertise as the release. And then, like, I mean, just the way, and it was all very creative, but, like, also, like, my God, we have to read Bezos's mind. Like, we have to figure this shit out on a molecular level to, like, beat the system, right? And it was very clever, but also, like, my God, we also have to, visit the mighty coven and, like, give something a sacrifice, and, like, it's just ridiculous. Yeah.
No, I don't want to... I feel like I've been very mopey and complaining this episode.
You're okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes my energy's low. Like, everything's good.
Yeah.
And I think that these are all, like, this is a feeling we all relate to, right? Like, even the most established author is like, how do I stay here? What do I do? How do I read Bezos's mind enough to figure this out? Right? Like, I think this is incredibly relatable to all of our problems. Like, how do you build and then continue building a readership? And, like, on the next level, like, because I think one of the things I really excel at is human to human interaction, right? But, like, how do I get these people to engage in one of my areas consistently, right? Like, how do I create that? And it's just like, I don't know. And so that's where it comes back to, like, the coach, right? Yeah. And so it's like, well, I don't think I do a coach yet. I don't think I have enough of a backlist to justify, like, teach me how to Dougie.
Yeah, teach me how to
Dougie. My brain would do nothing else. So... but, like, how do I strategize this? Like, how do I, like, maneuver people into this funnel? And I think at some point, yeah, that'll be a great tool for me to seek out. I don't think I'm there yet. I think I need a full series before I even begin that conversation.
There's so many... I see people talk about, like, scam artists on Threads a lot.
Indeed.
And so I'm like...
And you have to make sure you're going with someone reputable.
Yeah.
But, like, I've heard of a number of authors who have used coaches and are really, like, they have found results from it. Even an author that's on a similar, like, career level as us, she was saying that she had a coach and that it did work out for her. I did reach out to her about it, though, and I was like, hey, how did you feel about that? And her answer was, lukewarm, right? But at the same rate, I know that she has...
Probably getting the same question from a lot of people also.
Well, I don't know, because I don't know how it came up in conversation that she told me this, right? Yeah. But I know that she has had more financial stability from writing than I have. And so it's like, yeah, it's lukewarm feedback from her on this, but also from my position, seeing where she's at, it's like, oh, well, it might have not been the silver bullet she wanted it to be, but it also seems to have done something for her. Does that make sense?
Like, it does improve things. It didn't fix everything.
Exactly. So, Kate, I know that we have some blank space in this episode,
sure.
But you've said that your computer does not love when they get too long.
No.
Do you want to talk about writing advice?
Oh.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah. I'm very mad today.
I would say, like, talk to a friend when you're, like, feeling meh, feeling disappointed, feeling, like, grumpy about things, or, like, you just kind of need someone's, like, head, like, to turn your head a little bit to see a better perspective, right? And it can be really hard to do because our egos are so freaking loud. Yeah. It can be really hard, but that would be my advice, is, like, don't suffer alone. You don't have to do that. What about you, Kate?
I don't know. I have a few thoughts kind of like bouncing around. I haven't done a ton of writing in the last couple of weeks, I want to say. We've had the holidays, so I've been mostly doing like admin things. I want to say, if you're finding yourself really enjoying a moment of the story you're writing or the book, I would say flag those moments for yourself. Things that make you laugh, the things that make you really, like, say, I'm really enjoying this scene, you know? We were talking, I was making some graphics for your upcoming release, Remy and Alicia Can't Fall Again. And I...
Thanks for the plug.
Yes, asked you to find some quotes from the book for me so I could put them in, because I just had a bunch of placeholder text. And the thought that, like, I never ended up saying to you, but I meant to tell you, was what I often do is I go back to the documents, the shared documents, chapters from our book group nights, and I find the moments where people have commented and just like, maybe they're not saying anything profound, but like the enthusiasm is like palpable in the comment. Like, and those,
I thought about that.
Those are always the best moments, because like sometimes when you're going through your book and you're like, what's the best parts of my books? I sometimes get really snagged on like, ooh, let me find some really prosy kind of line that, you know, shows.
I get snagged on that.
Yeah, like it should, like, it's like, this is the line I think is the best because it's the one I worked the hardest on. But really what sells the book is the moments that I think people enjoy. And
oh my God, you just got me, like, something just rattled loose in my brain.
But, like, you had picked a quote, like, a little scene, like, where she's talking about, like, my door's busted down, and he's texting her back, like, about the door, and it's a funny little moment. And I was like, I want to tell you more moments like this, but I wasn't sure how to describe. Give me your funny moments. Give me your laugh out loud reading it moments.
Yeah.
Because I think those can be so hard to identify. Like, because of our critique system, we have this kind of built in, and I want to point it out to you to, like, use it. But it's like, I think when you're also just alone and writing and you're like, I'm enjoying this part so much, just like highlight it for yourself and be like, I really love this bit. Come back to this when I need it. When I need to show people this book, this is what I point to.
Well, and then I know I always struggle with, like, what is a moment that, like, out of context actually tells you about the story?
Yeah.
Or actually makes you want to read the story. Like, that's exhausting. It's so hard to do. But I think there's really good advice at, like, what moments did other people flag for you?
Yeah.
Right? And I had, like, sent you quotes that our editor, Heather, had, like, sent to me as, like, some of her favorites, right?
Yeah.
Because I just had them right there. And you were like, hey, I need quotes. I'm like, here's
You did
this.
send me a bunch of those, and I was like, oh, these are Heather quotes. Because she did also send me a couple of lines, because she made a reel. I think there's like a big list of all her favorite lines from all of the books that she's edited this year, and so you know, happy to have made some of the list. But like, I looked at a couple of the quotes and I was like, I can't use that for promo.
Yeah, I know, but I did anyway because I needed something. So
well, yours, I think she did pick some really cute, capture the vibe of the book kind of moments.
Yeah.
Especially the cozy blanket one. Like, he was the coziest thing in the... Yeah, that's the vibe.
I do love this I love this book. Anyway. But okay. Oh, goodness. Kate, I'm having a hard time over here. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
I'll wait until I can focus on this and not also be like, I should be talking.
Okay.
Did that finish your thought?
That's kind of my whole thought, I think, yeah.
Okay.
I know it's kind of unrelated
Where can I find you, Kate?
everything else.
Everything we talked about?
It's just a thought that's been sitting kind of locked and loaded for like a week and a half, and I was forgetting about it.
I'm never letting this one go. Where can they find you?
I'm at kate-pryor.com. All of my books, socials, and announcements and everything else is there. You can find Be My Bad Guy on pre-order, ready to come out January 20th. Marty, where can they find you?
Awesome. Your book's coming out on my husband's birthday.
Huh.
Anyway.
His birthday is 3 days after my birthday.
I know.
That's why.
I know. I have always noted this. And then I also...
You tell me this every year and I forget.
I'm an astrology girly. I do tell you this every year. That's okay. You're a Capricorn. You can't keep everything up there. You got work to do.
Very true.
But I'm an astrology girly, and like, you and Andrew definitely have some crossovers.
You frequently tell me, like, you and Andrew both do this thing, and I'm like, oh, we're just the same person twice, huh?
It's the best. So, listener, you can find me at martyv.com. You can join my newsletter and get Entirely Yours for free because it is super cute. Remy and Alicia Can't Fall Again comes out this Friday, December 5th. Woo! It is my favorite book I've written thus far, and it is so GD funny.
It is.
And
it really is.
The pining and the longing, and you will love it. And you can email me at martyvauthor@gmail.com.
Can I just say, I love the scene where he breaks down her door because he hears her scream a little, and he just fucking cavemans, and then everyone else gives him so much shit for breaking down her door.
Yes.
It's just nonstop,
It's
and
so
it's like...
funny.
Honestly, I love it.
Oh, it makes me so happy.
It's a good moment.
The only thing, dang it, now I'm like, oh shit, I have to have a callback to that, and I never did. Because, like, even after he fixed the frame and stuff, like, there would still be, like, trim that has to go up, and the paint would be all torn off and, like, shit like that. And I never have that moment.
No one's gonna notice that. No one's gonna point it out.
I know, but it would be so funny for her to, like, be on the phone with Jameson and be like, my fucking door. Anyway, listener, the job is never done. Get back to work.
Get back to it.
You gotta work, bitch.
Do it.
Do it.
All right.
Love you, listener. Talk to you later.
Bye, listener. Bye.
Bye. Are you doing your thing? Are you being weird?